Okay, Bob, thank you so much. In a few minutes, I will be catching a plane back to Washington and then back to Peru. But I will leave charged full of hope, because this is not a theoretical proposition. This is a concrete case of success. Let me introduce Victoria Alonsoperez from Uruguay. A young world, a young woman who has been able to use technology to help meet the challenge of food security through raising cattle with technology, with sensors, and a woman that also comes from the space technology. It is amazing. It is encouraging. It is a privilege. And so, before giving my tribute to Victoria, let me ask all of you, please continue with the education that you have combined with technology. But I have something to request. Once you conclude your studies in Europe and the United States, or wherever you are, please go back to your country. Your country needs you more than ever before. They need it. Victoria, you are part of the human capital that Latin America needs. And it is tempted to be at the Silicon Valley, where I lived. But I know that Uruguay, Latin America, will need you much more with the inventions that you have. Please give me a full applause to Victoria.
Thank you so much, President Toledo, for that great introduction. We are at a key point in the history of humankind, thanks to the great advances of science and technology. It is of great interest to challenge these advances in new technologies that can improve one of our most important current issues, that is food security. It is estimated that by 2050, the production of basic staple foods will need to increase by 60% to meet the expected demand of a growing population. It is essential that we work towards an effective and efficient agricultural production, especially in the rural areas of the world. And this, in turn, will support our most vulnerable populations, regardless of culture, of national, regional, or continental economic development. In fact, in the world, there are over 1 billion poor farmers that depend on livestock. So when something happens to the animals, they are left with no income at all. In 2001, I could see how a foot and mouth disease outbreak severely affected the economy of my country, Uruguay, and of the whole region. You have to think that in Uruguay, our main source of export is cattle. So this not only affected the rural sector, but also the whole society, causing economic losses of more than $500 million. That for a small country like Uruguay, it's a lot of money, and creating poverty and unemployment. I even knew a family of farmers that had to sell their land for a very low price and move to the city with some relatives. Others were not as lucky and ended up in slums. So it was back then that I started thinking, how can there not be a technological tool to prevent this from happening, to prevent a whole country to go into an economic crisis? And that's how, years later, after I graduated as an engineer, in 2012, I invented ChipSafer. That is a platform that can track and monitor certain physiological parameters of the animals in an autonomous and remote way. And after inventing ChipSafer, I started talking a lot more with the farmers and asking them about their problems. And I realized that they have many more needs that I thought of. For example, they wanted to track herd movements, they wanted to improve productivity, and something that every farmer asked me for was monitoring and preventing cattle theft. That is a very big problem. So I modified my system to meet all these needs, and we are now increasing our production plans for next year to meet the expected demand. Our plans for the future are also to help the end consumer, because through the monitoring of agriculture and farming, everyone will be able to know exactly what they're eating, where it came from, and how healthy it is. Still, I could see that the rural areas are very technologically unattended. The farmers have many needs that my technology alone cannot meet. So we can and should do a lot more to help farmers with technological tools. New technology projects will not only help maintain the rural jobs, but also create new ones. According to the World Bank, agriculture represents 3% of the global GDP, and we should aim for this number to increase, bringing a substantial improvement in the quality of life. And I'm sure that with technological projects like Chip Safer, we are going to make this future a reality. So right now, I encourage all of you to go to a farm in your home and talk to the farmers that are the people that feed us. Listen to their stories and learn about their challenges, their frustrations, their opportunities. And if you think that you can use technology to help them, then do it. No more talking, do it. And that might make the difference for all of us. Thank you very much.